Welcome back in your sports. Cricket South Africa's social justice and nation-building project hearings resumed on Monday after nearly 2.5 months on the sidelines. In the first round of hearings in July and August, explosive claims were made against some big names in local cricket. Some of those are now responding to claims against them. Our reporter, or sports reporter, Hlanim Tumkulu, has joined me now and is going to bring us up to date with what's exactly happening. What's the latest from these hearings?
Okay, so as you said, the hearings did resume on Monday after that 2.5-month break. And since Monday, we've been hearing from unions and administrators or former administrators that were implicated in those hearings in July and August. If we remember, there was a huge outcry in some instances based on what some of the hearings were saying. We know what Paul Adams, for example, said, and then Mark Boucher's name was thrown around, Graham Smith's name was thrown around as well. So the unions basically now are dealing with the things that were said about them in terms of their attitude towards transformation in cricket.
Yeah, and what's coming out there? Does there seem to be a change at all? Because, you know, I'm looking at this and I'm reading about all of this and I'm thinking we've been here so many times before.
Yeah, you know, CSAs transformation ombud advocate Dumisa Nsebeza did say, and he said it several times now just this week, to say that, you know, there's been a past Langa, there's been a Langa report, there's been a Ngwepe report, there's been a Nicholson report as well. And all of these findings and recommendations haven't been implemented. Or we know last year with the Nicholson report, or earlier this year, there was a push to get that implemented. But basically these reports have been there, these findings have been there about the state of local cricket, and nothing's been done about it. So he says, you know, I want to get to a place where I come here, I see there's a problem, I do my work, and I can say and look to the future and say, I helped with this sort of thing. But given that there have been other reports, it looks like this might just be a talk shop. And he used that term actually to say, could this possibly be another talk shop? So,
because at the end of the day, the unions, they'll come, they'll say lovely stuff and then go back, you know.
No, they do say, you know, like all of them that have spoken this week so far have started by saying, first of all, we want to say we are committed to transformation. And yet, for example, Northwest today, they were queried about their management. 7 out of 8 positions are white, male or female, and there's one Indian person in that position. And they were asked, H.P. Prinsloo, the CEO, you say you're committed to transformation, but look at your management makeup. And words, you tell me about transformation, but this is referring to your ground staff. So you make it seem as if your numbers are good at 71%, but that's only referring to your ground staff. So there is a lot of that that is coming out. And it is, as we said, all these reports have come out before. All this work has been done before, but no actual outcome has come from them. You know,
and the thing is, we've got the T20 World Cup. You got the Proteas are there. They played against Pakistan today. Am I correct? Sri Lanka is Pakistan. Okay, but they had a good game today. They won that particularly. It's a warm-up match, but all of this, you know, surely this gets to them as well. At the end of the day, we want them to perform. We need to win some sort of World Cup at some point in terms of cricket. You know, how are they coping with all of this?
Well, it's always interesting how when the players are asked about these things, because you know it's difficult to avoid asking them. Now with the captain Themba Bavuma, he takes it on the chin and he takes it on. And he always says, and he always gives answers, and he wants to answer the things and admit that, okay, this has happened and these things are happening, but we've dealt with it. You know, for example, when Mark Boucher sent out his affidavit and his apology in August, just before they went to Sri Lanka, you know, he said, we dealt with this thing. Mark Boucher spoke to us. He told us this was going to happen, and he tried to give some context to what was happening. And I guess, you know, they have to go on. Even when the boardroom situations and the governance issues were happening, you know, it was the same thing again, where they were saying, look, these things are happening, but we need to get on the field and we need to play. So there is this happening, but they also have to play and perform, I guess, on the field. And they say that they just get on with things.
They just got to get on with the job. Okay, so we're going to expect more explosive testimony to come through. How long will these hearings last, do you think?
So, well, they were meant to end at the end of September. The whole process was meant to end at the end of September. But because there have been volumes and volumes of transcripts to get through, so they were granted a 2-month extension. Advocate Nsebeza did say, actually, that he would have preferred 18 to 24 months to give it its full, to give it its full extent, and to be able to say people can cross-examine people, they can do a full investigation. So at the moment, there is no cross-examination. So of course, some will say that's a problem, you know,
Yeah.
but because he was only given 6 months plus now this 2-month extension until the end of November, yeah, you know, so there is that. So.
Yeah.
Hopefully in the next 2 weeks with the unions coming out, Linda Zondi, Jacques fall tomorrow, so that's going to be interesting. And then we've got more people coming up next week. Hopefully then that will mean they can write their report and send their recommendations to CSA by the end of November.
Recommendations. We've heard that word so many times in cricket. Recommendations. Hloni, thank you so much for staying up with us here on Newsnight. All right. Okay, so Hloni Mkula there from our Sports Desk talking about the social justice and nation building hearings.